Hey everybody, Troy from Maxima Racing Oils coming to you today from Mullins Race Engines here in Mount Olive, Illinois. Chad's one of the most successful dirt modified engine builders in the country right now. We're going to take you guys inside, give you a tour of the shop, show you what the guys are doing, and talk with Chad. All right, so we're going to start our tour here in the CNC shop. So here on the Haas, that's where they're doing their billet manifolds. You can see all the chunks of aluminum out here ready to go in the machine and get ready. And quite a process starting from a chunk of aluminum to ended up with a billet manifold. So pretty impressive back here. Over here in the Centroid, got a pair of cylinder head being CNC ported. Quite an impressive facility they've got going. If you could see, small block Chevrolet in there going through a lightening process. So they're taking off excess weight, making it as light as they can possibly make it since cast iron's so heavy. Over here in the Rottler is where they're going to do all of their boring, decking, probably lifter bores, lifter bushings, that kind of work, all going on over in the Rottler. So now we'll go back out into the main part of the shop and see some of the other equipment. Shop full of Rottler equipment, you know, just nothing but the best. A couple of head surfacers, seat and guide machines. Looks like a pretty new F69A. A lot of block work and stuff in there. Look at all the cylinder heads going through the process right now. It's you can tell how busy these guys stay for sure. Newen, I mean, latest and greatest in valve job technology comes from Newen. That's quite a machine right there. CWT balancer, latest and greatest obviously as well. So now we'll go back into what I think is probably one of the most impressive parts of the shop, and that's just the inventory room. It's almost mind-blowing. So obviously all the Callie's crankshafts you see, Callie's rods, these are ready to go engines, you know, probably either customer engines or engines that are in stock and ready for immediate shipping. Here's an LS-based engine with one of their new billet manifolds, a work of art, just beautiful. See, shelf full of Maxima products. Love seeing that. Good inventory. And then drums at the dyno because they're pulling out of drums for their dyno and the break-in oils, oil pumps, balancers, pistons, carburetors. It's just mind-blowing. It's been a few years since I've been in Chad's shop and all of this has been added on since I was here last. I wasn't expecting this when we walked in today. It's really impressive. Let's look at all of the different camshafts. These shelves are all full of camshafts, and there's probably, like Chad said, probably 50 different grinds up there. Pretty good testament that Maxima Racing Oils has got a product for every type of camshaft application, whether it's flat tappet, solid, flat tappet hydraulic roller, or solid roller. Maxima Racing Oils will protect any type of camshaft we can put in one of these engines. And then back here we've got a couple of assembly rooms here. Very nice, neat, organized. All the head gaskets, intake gaskets. So 2 dyno cells and an LS-based engine here. Over there looks like a more conventional small block. But also, again, you can see it's the latest technology from Superflow for their dynos. I mean, these guys just don't skimp on anything. It's the inventory, it's the quality control. Everything happens right here. It's the only way you can really be 100% successful like that is to have control of all of your own machining and all of your own products. So quite an impressive facility for sure.
We do the dry sump stuff, and you know, those dry sump engines usually run anywhere from 220 to 260 degrees oil temp. These wet sump engines, you get on a bigger racetrack, the thing will not come under 300 degrees. You know, before we were doing roller cam bearings and stuff, you know, we were really big on oil coolers. I mean, for my own personal testing for my own race car, if you take a wet sump engine that doesn't have any type of cooler or anything on it, test that oil temp, and you put a cooler system and everything on there, we would see about a 40-degree drop.
Okay.
And now this was back in the times before roller cam bearings and stuff. The first thing that would fail on these wet sump engines when they get too much oil temperature in them, it starts chunking and pitting out the Babbitt cam bearing.
Yeah, right.
And that's because that Babbitt cam bearing is sitting right in the center of the engine block and there's not water around it to pull the heat out. It sees the most heat. It's not the rod and main bearings. I've never seen one of them chunk out or pit out or anything like that. They got fluid running through it. They got the water closer to them, and that's pulling that heat out of that oil, and it makes a big difference. But the true test to this oil, from what I've seen, is the wet sump engines, and that's what we started with, we grew up on, and we're known for. You know, these guys are all weight freaks anymore. You know, all these racers, they want these engines light.
Light as possible.
Hey, let's put a smaller radiator in it.
Yeah.
So our next step was, let's put roller cam bearings in them, because then we can't melt the cam bearing out of it.
Right.
And it does help a little bit with lowering the oil temperature, because now you're on a roller bearing. Once we got onto the roller cam bearing thing, we did away with the oil coolers. Everything has pros and cons. The
Yep.
pros to the cooler, it helps cool the engine oil.
Yep.
The cons are, it's external. We can blow a line,
Absolutely.
cooler can, have a problem, and then next thing you know,
All the oil.
that's just one less thing. It makes the engine lighter. The roller cam bearings, we don't see any damage from extra heat in the oil. And then the oil holds up to that extra heat. We can run these things 320, 330 degrees, and we don't see any oil breaking down or anything like that. I prefer the semi-synthetic because we are a dirt oval track race engine builder. We don't have a clean environment. These engines have to breathe, okay? So if they're breathing externally, they're breathing internally. They're pulling some dirt in. There's just no way getting around it. So the oil doesn't break down. It's the fact that it does get contaminated with dirt no matter what we do here. So I like the semi-synthetic because it is a little cheaper to cost for the racer.
Absolutely.
And my maximum time is 5 nights of running that oil just because of the contamination that gets in there. Yeah, you could go the extra mile and run the full synthetic. Turning 9,000, 9,200 RPMs with these things, figuring out how to keep the oil in the oil pans and not suck them dry. And we've just evolved, and they really put this oil to the test.
Oh, this stuff's great. We've been using it every day for probably the last 8 years.
How many engines do you guys build in a year?
Oh, well, we will build 5 a week. I do 1 every day myself.
So a lot of Maxima product getting used.
A lot, yeah, a lot. Use a lot personally and love it. Have always had great luck with it, and no reason to do anything else.
Absolutely.